Shift Change Videocast, episode 23, the Ville Leino. We don't even have to take turns picking guys this time. It's the Ville Leino.
It's unanimously Ville Leino. Chris Drury, get the hell out of here. No thank you, Aaron Williams. It's a tribute to our favorite Sabres hockey player of all time.
One of the worst Sabres players of all time, and the worst Buffalo contract ever? Okay, who was the lineman? Dockett?
Darnell Dockett.
Darnell Dockett.
Or Langston Walker. That was the same offseason. They both had ridiculous contracts.
Langston Walker didn't write about, the fork in the road or anything, wasn't it?
That was Langston Hughes?
But I
think you're talking about Robert Frost.
Yeah.
Two roads diverged. And
yep, he took the one less traveled.
Yeah, that was Robert Frost.
And that wasn't Langston Hughes?
No. Did you even, study poetry ever, or are you just pulling
Not really, but I heard of that thing and it sounded familiar.
Oh, okay. No, not remotely.
Okay, so we're also a Ville Leino-esque start here.
Worst contract, although maybe Cody Hodgson might prove to be worse.
Yeah, real quick, because it's the Ville Leino Videocast.
It's important we touch on Ville Leino and his place in Buffalo history.
I think it's important that we touch on Cody Hodgson.
Oh, yeah.
Because, amazingly, Cody Hodgson scored fewer points than Ville Leino when they bought him out by kind of a lot.
Yeah.
He scored 13 in 78 games. Ville had, I think it was 58 games and 15. I mean, that's crazy.
And
to score fewer points than Ville Leino.
And it's not like there were a lot of studs on the team vying for ice time. This is the second year of the we're going to suck on purpose. And Ville's year, it might have been a little bit better. This year, Cody Hodgson, who's your competition? Nobody. Go play well and get some ice time and score points. Do literally any of those things.
He didn't score any.
He did
13
nothing.
Points for the whole season.
Just chilling there with his $24 million contract. I'm not going to score. It's cool, guys.
There is one argument to be made for Cody Hodgson.
He looks like Liv Schreiber and kind of handsome, therefore.
Who?
Liv Schreiber. He's in. He's like the main antagonist in Goon. You ever see Goon? Sweet hockey movie.
Unfortunately.
He plays Sabretooth in X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is the worst X-Men movie, so don't watch it.
Good job, Cody Hodgson.
Yeah, he's Ray Donovan, that show on Showtime. Liv Schreiber. He narrates all the 24/7 NHL stuff.
Okay.
You know what he sounds like.
Now
you don't know what he looks like. Point
Great.
is, he looks a lot like Cody Hodgson.
Awesome.
You were just... This is not working today.
No, it really isn't.
It's all your fault.
That's Ville Leino. Look what you've done.
Oh, it's the curse of 23.
No, the one argument is not that he looks like a person I've never heard of.
Oh.
The one argument is that Ted Nolan may have just hated him and not played him very much, and that's why he didn't score. His ice time, 6 minutes less per game. Under Nolan from the previous year, which was under Ralston/Nolan.
But don't you think Ted Nolan probably hated Ville Leino too? / Ron Ralston hated Ville Leino?
Yeah, I think everybody hated Ville Leino.
So, in comparison to Ville Leino, I don't think it helps him. Stand alone, yes it does.
I mean, Nolan didn't even play him on the power play after half of the year. I think I'm just making the argument, if you're going to make one for not buying him out, that another coach, Dan Bilesma, will play him on the power play because that's the one good thing he's good at. I mean, this is where it goes to, holy cow, thank you, Ted Nolan, for 30th place, because if Hodgson plays the whole year on the power play, there's no way he doesn't score more than Brian Flynn. He was playing Flynn, number one center, on the power play, which is insane, as opposed to the guy who had 19 points on the power play the year before. So I'm just saying that's the only argument. I think they'll probably buy him out.
Yeah, just do it. No one wants to think about him anymore.
Well, also the GM does not have to worry about looking bad.
Oh, no.
Because it's not Tim Murray's contract. I mean, that was...
If he wants to slam Darius Regier, I'm sure he's more than ready to do so.
And also, the other part of it is Zach Kassian has not turned into anything. That's the guy they traded him for.
Yes, so... Remember how exciting that trade was, for both sides? Yes. It's look at these young guys with all this potential, and then a few years later, we're just God, you guys kind of suck.
Well, my favorite part is how each side tried to justify the trade as having won it, right? It was, out there was a Vancouver Sun writer who called Kassian the next Cam Neely. Just like that. Cam Neely. He looks like the next Cam Neely.
Was Cam Neely this much of a slow starter?
No.
I mean, he's only like 5 years into his career, so I guess we should give him more time.
And here, Darcy Regier tried to tell us that Hodgson could be a true number one center.
But we're going to get one anyway, so that's good.
I mean, this is also, they signed Brad Boyes, a winger, to play center. They signed Ville Leino, a winger, to play center. And surprisingly, that GM doesn't have a job anymore here, but still is in the NHL.
But not as a GM, as an AGM.
Mm-hmm. On a team that's going to probably move.
Yeah.
Okay, how about LeBron? You want to talk about LeBron?
He's impressive.
He's very impressive.
I think LeBron James is really good at basketball.
Professional sports producer here, by the way. He is very good at basketball. Well, here's something interesting that I read today, is that Buffalo has been buying into the NBA Finals in terms of viewership as much as they do the NHL Stanley Cup. Does that surprise you at all?
No. It might if the circumstances in the NBA Finals were different. But this is such a relatable Buffalo story. Mm-hmm. Like it was less relatable when it was like, oh, we got Kevin Love, we got J.R. Smith, we got all this stuff. We're making a run. We're like, okay, that's not really like Lake Erie style. That feels like a little Lakers style.
Yeah.
But then everyone on the team died. And now it's like LeBron back with his hometown team versus the best team in the NBA and the MVP. And it's just like, wow, if this is how you break the curse, Buffalo stands with you, I'm sure. I
love the part about all the other teammates being bad. Mm-hmm. In terms of why Buffalo would be behind this.
Yeah.
I've actually heard people say that they want to win the right way if the Sabres get a cup or if the Bills win the Super Bowl, which, I mean, I couldn't care less how you win.
Right.
I mean,
I understand the sentiment, though. You want to hold on to your identity as an underdog but still win, which is kind of conflicting, but you don't want to become the New York Yankees.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have one player like carrying the entire team and the entire city on his back and the hopes and dreams of 60 years of failure. I mean, that's pretty cool. And
that player is Dellavedova.
Dellavedova is not really good. Does anybody know this? Like, this guy
it's just
is
kind
not
of circumstantial right now.
It is.
The spotlight's on, and he's diving for balls and, doing okay. But
first of all, everyone is hustling. It's the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
He dives for the ball. Everyone dives for the ball.
Who else was in on that dive? David Lee, who was just like standing up and trying to scoop it, and Dellavedova's just like, mine.
Well, that's because David Lee
bastard.
He's like 10 inches taller than Dellavedova.
I get it. It would be a far fall for him.
It is funny. Now that's a Buffalo thing to do, right? It's like, yeah, sure, LeBron, but the real star is this scrub who isn't very good but is forced to play.
Yeah.
Dellavedova is not very good, but I think Steph Curry not making shots has just been more Steph Curry not making shots than it is this magical defense from an undrafted Australian guy.
Sure, but Steph started to pick it up toward the end last night, so you can't imagine that's going to last forever.
Yeah, I think he's going to come back. Well, that's what Sale brought up something interesting to me, that the Warriors are still favored.
Yeah.
They're still favored by Vegas to win the series. Is that interesting to you?
Not really, because LeBron's teammates are still hurt.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can buy into LeBron, like, willing his team to win, scoring 40 points, but no matter how great he is, and he's great, like, some people like to say the best ever, no one in Vegas is going to be like, well, it's obvious LeBron is going to keep scoring 40 points a night and Steph Curry is going to keep missing shots.
Yeah, I think
they're going to count on it balancing back out.
I think the first part of that will happen. I think LeBron will continue to score 40 points, but
I'd love to see it.
I don't think the Warriors will keep missing shots. It's not just Steph Curry. It was Draymond Green was 2 for 10. It was Harrison Barnes was 0 for 8. But I think it's cool that it's a story that we here can connect to.
Right.
Because in the NBA, it's been a while. I mean, when the Lakers
even
are
if
great,
the Warriors end up winning, it's still kind of like, I feel like I can connect to it because
they haven't won.
In the 90s, like, the Warriors were just like the joke team that no one ever picked in like video games.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who the hell is on your team, you bad team? And now it's just like, oh, you're an elite team. That's cool. That gives me hope.
Part of what's nice for them, too, is that they got rid of their hideous early 2000 jerseys and went back to the awesome
How great was it that they were playing yellow against blue last night?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Popping.
I want to see NHL. Make a decision in the NHL based on just awesomeness and clash of jerseys. If there's two red teams, well, okay, I get it. But
one of them can wear one of their black alternates that, of course, they have.
If it's Tampa Bay blue against Chicago Blackhawk red,
just go.
I'm good with that.
Just go with it. No one's like, oh man, I can't wait to see Chicago in their whites.
Real quick, Jurassic Park. Are you going to go see Jurassic Park?
Yes. Well, this one's called Jurassic World.
No, it's Jurassic Park.
It is the new Jurassic Park movie called Jurassic World.
It's just Jurassic Park. When you say to your friends, are you going to see Jurassic Park?
They're like, yeah, I saw it in 1993, idiot. My friends are terrible
that would
people.
be you, or maybe your friends.
I talk to myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm a good guy.
Okay, so what do you think? I mean, what do you think from what you've seen of the trailers? You're going to see it.
I'm going to see it
Are
Sunday.
You excited?
I'm very excited. I've already read a review here and there that they've let out. I'm hearing a lot of self-contained blockbuster, which is good, which is what the first one was. Mm-hmm. It's like very self-contained, a complete blockbuster film that you can just watch on its own. And the sequels kind of sucked because it was meant to be that way, or it felt like it meant to be that way, and they tried to drag it out into 2 more movies. And like, no, that's not good. So cram everything that you can into this one movie, which it looks from the trailers like they're going to, because everything's just going nuts. And have a very likable leading man in Chris Pratt, he's Bank. He is like the new guy in Hollywood since Guardians of the Galaxy last summer.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's my favorite movie, and he was amazing in it. And I don't think he's going to be as silly as he normally is in things, but I think he'll be very charismatic lead actor for this one.
I can only go off the trailer that I've seen 50,000 times, but I think what it needs to have is a different identity than the one we all remember.
Yeah.
That it needs to have, like, I mean, the whole, like, discovery of this thing, is sort of, like, groundbreaking. Like, we've never had a movie like that.
Right.
So now it looks like it follows a little bit of that. Like, oh, we've got this place that now we're building new dinosaurs. So, I mean, it's got to have some of the same elements to it. But I want it to be maybe a little more fast-paced, a little more
action. I think it will, because you're fast-forwarding in time to where, despite what happened in the first one, the park is open and operational. So it's full of thousands of people this time. So I think it'll have less of that horror movie feel from the first one, where there's a lot of suspense and darkness, which worked. I think it'll feel more chaotic, kind of like a disaster movie, because there will just be people running all over the place. But I am sure there will be a lot of suspenseful moments as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. And if you go see it in the IMAX, extended 6-minute preview of Ant-Man. So
wow,
I'll be sure to give you my
6
thoughts.
minutes.
Yeah, they do that with some big summer blockbusters where it's just kind of a promotional tactic, because for Avengers or like Guardians of the Galaxy, they'll roll out way more trailers and way more interviews on talk shows and stuff. They haven't really done that with Ant-Man. They're going with you guys probably don't know what the hell this is, so we're going to show you and give you a taste at this movie you're all going to see, which I think is a good strategy. And if it's good, people will leave that and be like, man, Ant-Man, right?
Yeah.
Generate a little buzz for Ant-Man.
Because Ant-Man isn't like Superman or Spider-Man, some superhero that everyone has heard of.
He's like not even B-list, probably C-list.
Yeah. But do you think it's going to be good?
I think so. The tough part is it's supposed to be funny, like it's a superhero comedy, and it's tough to convey that in 30 to 60-second trailers, which is why I think the 6 minutes is smart. I think you'll be able to get a good idea if they actually pulled off making it funny in that. And if they do stick to that, I think it should be very good.
This was a little too good for the Ville Leino.
I know. We ended up talking about sports.
Yep.
Like, we were excited about talking about basketball. It did start off pretty bad talking about Cody Hodgson, though.
Well, that's his fault.
That's his fault.
He played really badly.
Damn it, Cody.
What number is he? 19? We missed an opportunity there.
Yeah.
Well, how do you want to end the Ville Leino podcast? Should we just insult each other or fall down?
We'll see you next time on the Zenon Konopka podcast.
Is he 24?
Yeah.
Well, that should be great. Face-off talk.
He was really valuable to that 30th place team.
Not really.